Hey everybody, this is Rick. I just wanted to share some comments that I got from a friend. A customer sent me, I didn't know this guy, kindly sent me some comments that said, hey, your Immacuclean's being talked about on CGC forums. And for me, I thought, well, heck, I guess that means I made it. People are talking about this stuff. And then it is hilarious. It was entertaining to me to read this because I guess, first of all, you made it when people start talking stink about you that you don't even know you, right? They're all saying, oh, this and that. And also, if they say good things about you, too. Either way, you made it when strangers are talking about you that you've never met, had any interaction with at all, don't even use your products, and as the public does, claim wisdom about it, right? And so the question came up, hey, what's wet cleaning and this new thing in comic books, and what is Immacuclean and what's in it? And I'll just let you read it here yourself in a moment, but he says, I read, and if you read any kind of social media at all, as soon as somebody says I read, it doesn't provide any kind of reference that person is full of it immediately. That person actually just made that up in the moment, but wants to seem smart, right? So they can't just say I just made up, or I suppose they have to say I read or researched. It's another famous one. That Immacuclean is he gives specific percentages of alcohol and peroxide. And what's even funnier is that another person says, so he's selling alcohol? Isn't that illegal? Or doesn't he need a liquor license to do it? And doesn't peroxide give you serious burns? He means hydrogen peroxide. Give you serious burns? Those things, I guess, it is also a topical antiseptic you can buy in the store and you put on the kids' cuts at a different concentration. Neither of which is in Immacuclean. Immacuclean is non-toxic to humans and the environment. And I have the SDS sheet you can download on our website. I'll show you how to get to that. And not regulated for transport by the DOT. It is not harmful, and lethal dose is above the limits for which they check for stuff. Like you'd have to freeze it and hit you over the head with it to harm you with this stuff. So that's funny. But some people came to my defense, or Immacuclean's defense, sorry, and said, hey, this stuff works good. You got to do it this way, that. So that's what this little blurb is about, and I'll just review this, and I'll give you some comments about this, about Immacuclean. They're all going to go into my frequently asked question review blog, whatever it's going to turn into. I'm going to update the website so I can answer your questions, because I get the same questions. It used to be a few times a week, but it's several times a day now. And up to 50 times a week, I get the same question. Will I get a different color label in CGC? Well, what if there's streaks on my book? What do I do? And it's constant. It's constant flow, and I guess that's a good thing because it means more people are trying it, but less people are getting access to the information they need. So I'm making a frequently asked questions section, and I'm gonna put a place for reviews, or I'll start putting reviews initially, and a place for customers to write reviews about stuff that they like, and your own success stories. And hopefully this becomes a community and a blog that we can all sort of use and give information to one another. But enough about that stuff. Here's the review and a couple comments from customers, and I will see you guys around. Hey, you guys want to see, hold on a second. Do you want to see a huge icicle? Look at this guy here behind me. This thing is probably, I don't know how tall that sucker is right there. It's probably like 10 or 12 feet long. You can tell it's a big one. But anyway, I digress, and I'll see you guys around. Take care. Bye-bye.
So here's a letter from Jim Daves. He's a pretty nice person. He wrote me, Rick, hope you and your family are well. That's nice of him. I thought I would share this with you. I responded to a post on CGC chat board about Immacuclean with this photo to show how well it works. It is a double clean, then H2O2 peroxide and light treatment. It is Avengers 58. When I was looking for your email, I found it in an exchange we had about Spidey 361. I remember this, with a double cover. Pretty cool. Just got back from CGC and it was a 9.6 over 9.8. I don't know what that means, but just left you a comment on your last video suggesting thoughts on tide lines when you get around to your recording your master classes. Great idea. Keep up the good work you're doing. Thank you, Jim. Kind of you. And he's got this, I guess, presumably the left half is unclean, the right half's clean. That's great work. I mean, look at the colors too, unaffected. So that's really good. I'm really happy to see that. Really, really well done, Jim. Good, thank you. So I wanted to share some testimonials from customers and also some to talk about this message board he's talking about here. So let's see. We've got. Let me check something here. So here's the post from Jim. All right, so it's called "What is Immacuclean?" Moreover, what's in it? His first post here is from 815K1, and let's see what he writes here. He's just sort of introducing us to this Immacuclean. He says, "So I found Immacuclean. It's sold in bottles you buy from Immaculate Comics. This post has YouTube video that they use. Anyways, plural. I'm curious as to what's in it. Yeah, you and everybody else. I got this from a Reddit thread. I read my post and other posts for Immaculate Comics YouTube video using it. I also mentioned using salicylic acid. What do you think? Do you think that's what it could be, or something similar? It has to be water-based, whatever it is." This guy sort of describes the wet cleaning thread he has there in Reddit, I guess. And a few months ago, a friend of mine asked for my opinion on this guy's technique and cleaner from Top Notch Man here. I love he's self-proclaimed top-notch person. I kept myself entertained for hours watching multiple videos. My conclusion, he didn't have an argument at all. It's really an opinion. He just writes a conclusion as if he presented any points to argue. Is this guy is a complete quack. He was unable, not that he didn't provide, but he was unable to provide any close-up after pictures of cleaned books. Now, this lends a lot of credence. It makes you sound really smart when you use words like conclusion, and this guy was unable to do stuff, right? He's just pushing his cleaning supplies and pressing boards as a side hustle. His techniques to me are barbaric, meaning they're from the Celtic, like Roman era, I guess, and dangerous to a book, causing irreversible damage. Not just damage, but irreversible. A lot of color there, right? He also writes, I found nothing of value. So kept himself entertained for hours, but did not find anything of value. So that's some interesting color commentary from Top Notch Man here. Then moving on, he writes, I don't submit books with water stains. Problem solved. With wet cleaning, haha. And I guess that means he thinks that wet cleaning is for water stains. So I don't know. That's just silly. I was looking at Immacuclean too, but his YouTube videos are very suspect when it comes to wet cleaning. All he shows is the beginning soaking, which looks like it's doing more damage, and then never the finished project. Shows is the product. So I never show the finished product, apparently. I want to work my way up to cleaning the water liquid stain in my X-Men #1 to save pages from becoming brittle. Is a water bath, heat lamp press the way to go, or humidity chamber? So he's got an X-Men #1. Yeah, I could absolutely clean that. It'd be no problem for me. Of course, I won't. This guy. Mass stain in the book would be a candidate for a bath, blah, blah, blah. Oh, here's another one. Here's a great one. Strong guy. He says, from what I've read, this is great too, right? This is not from what I've read. He didn't read that. He just completely made this up, but it makes you seem a lot smarter, of course, when you say that you read something or researched it somehow. I've used that solution to wipe down. He says it's a 1 to 1.5 mixture of 90% IPA, which is isopropanol, and 3% peroxide. It's a very specific thing to have read. And the more specific you are in your lies, the more like credence it gives it. But this is complete baloney. Just completely made this up. There's no isopropanol or peroxide in Immacuclean at all. I've used that solution to wipe down a book, and it's pretty good at removing grime. You have to be careful. Using sparingly, you can remove color. So all this kind of makes sense if you don't know what you're talking about, right? You have to be careful. Well, that makes sense. Use it sparingly. That also makes sense. Oh yeah, these things all make sense. So the rest of it must also be true. It's kind of the Ben Franklin thing, right? Give them a little bit of truth that they know is true and back it up with lies, and then they believe the lies, right? But that's just made up. That's just, it's just nothing of value there at all. Oh boy. Another person says, hipsters rejoice, IPA, blah, 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 joke, funny time. And then the first guy writes again, so he's selling alcohol. Not if you're right, he's selling alcohol. So he's selling alcohol. And not only that, he thinks that isopropanol is the same as ethanol. He would need a liquor license to sell it? What if I ate and drank Immacuclean? Would I be poisoned? So if I go to the doctors, again, sentence starts with so, a couple of them here. He loves the word so. Go to the doctors, and it's plural, or not possessive, right? And they say, what did you take? I'm going to say Immacuclean. If he eats the stuff, what did you take? Which means that not that what did you ingest, but what did you intentionally consume, right? I'm going to say Immacuclean. So wouldn't the label have to disclose what chemicals are in it? It is sold as a good for cleaning. Sound like this guy's got a lawsuit, 2 words, waiting to happen. Huh, interesting. So a few things. One is that if you go to standards.gov and then you look up the governing bodies for labeling things, all kinds of things have to they're governed by the Federal Trade Commission, the Department of Transportation, Consumer Product Safety Commission for carpet and rugs, all these kind of things. But the one that governs cleaning supplies is the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, on that list. And so the other thing is about Immacuclean is the SDS sheet you can download. It's in the product description page. On our website, it says that the toxicity, human toxicity, and environmental impact. Human toxicity is greater than 5,000 milligrams per kilogram, which is as high as they test it. It's for oral rat. Very low toxicity if swallowed. And then they have all of the different toxicities here, which it's essentially non-toxic, unlikely to cause skin irritation. The pH is 7 in aqueous solution. There's no germ or cell mutagenicity. There's no carcinogenicity. It is not been determined to be any kind of classified as has a no octanol water coefficient, means how readily can it be absorbed into cells. Aspiration status hazard is not classified. Material is practically non-toxic to aquatic organisms. It's not even regulated for transport by the DOT. So there's that. That's not bad. And you get this. You can download this. Anybody can download this sheet from our product site. So there's that. And then we have and then the other person says Beyonder123 writes. I remember this from the Secret Wars. I've seen a lot of this guy's videos, and from what I've seen, he does show before and after photos. Thank you. I've definitely not seen him damage books. He seems to generally do a pretty good job. Thank you. One guy he writes, having worked in printing with all kinds of chemicals and blanket wash to different etch solutions, you'd be amazed at what people have tried to drink over the years. So much so OSHA requires printing plants to have every bottle of what's in it, as well as hazard report on hand. Hazard report means the SDS, safety data sheet. For every chemical in the building. Yeah, that's not just printing, that's every commercial manufacturer and user of chemical products or hazardous materials. That's been true since the mid-70s, and it's not because people are ingesting it. The primary reason is for flammability, worker safety, and environmental impact, but there are human consumption responses to it. It's not, so it's, man. This guy explains that IPA is isopropanol, and This is hydrogen peroxide. Another way it says, I've seen serious hydrogen, this guy again, right? He's really smart. He says, I've seen serious hydrogen peroxide burns. I burnt, not burned, but burnt myself once using it to clean a wound. Serious. So how to tell us you don't know what you're doing, right? How to express that to the public by saying, like, I guess he mistook really concentrated hydrogen peroxide for the 3% stuff they sell in the store that is used to disinfect a wound but not clean it. And he writes serious on there. So, yeah, I've burned myself too lots of times. It hurts for about 15 minutes and your skin turns white and then it goes away. And you're better again. So, I don't know. And he also writes, I used the isopropyl and salicylic acid to remove some sticky tape goo. It was good. It didn't do much besides ripples if I used too much. I don't think it took off color. Try this mixed with the peroxide next. And then here's Jim. Jim writes, I've used Immacuclean at times, and as Rick points out in his videos, there can be color loss. He suggests to test a cover with a Q-tip first to see if you experience color loss before proceeding. Reds and yellows most likely to be impacted. It can produce good results, especially on whites and back covers, but you need to learn how to use the practice books. Tide lines can be a problem and have to learn how to buff those out. May not be for everyone, but it can work if you know how to work with it, like every other cleaning process. So he shows this book. And so, and there's just some more and this guy has great information. Thank you. Anyway, that's the post he was talking about, but I would share that. Hi, everyone. So lastly, I wanted to share some other testimonials from you, from the users of the stuff, right? Mostly, I think Immacuclean is what is of interest here. So we have Great Bowls of Fire, hilarious, writes, Rick, you are hands down the best resource on this topic on YouTube. Thanks for all this great info. You rock. Have a great new year. Hey, thanks. I really appreciate it. Kind words. I love it. Spider Dude, who probably born in 71, same as me, and he's got my favorite cover here, the Ramita ASM 50. Love it. He writes, just purchase a few of your products, Immacuclean and cold press board. Good. Plus some metal plates. Extra good. After using the cleaning solution, I'm thoroughly impressed. I think your product is fine. I think the prices you set are very good considering trying to get this stuff at all different sources. Thank you. I work hard on that. It's a challenge. In the future, I'll send you some before and after pictures. Right now, I am practicing on crappy books, very good, that are not going into my collection. Oh, great. Thanks again. Hey, you're welcome, Spider Dude. David Nix writes, here to sing the praises of Immacuclean. I'd been dry cleaning before seeing your videos after Comic Tom had your work on his program. That's been a year ago now. Tom and I haven't really had done another video for Tom. I should do that. I had one book come back from CGC with a comment about scuffing that had resulted from my overexuberance using an eraser, and I'm seeing that more and more with marks on covers from physical abrasion. I'm getting a large batch of books for my PC ready for grading, and I've been using Immacuclean exclusively. I find that by quickly wiping the book with a Swiffer pad to remove any dust, etc., then wiping with Immacuclean, I can remove all dirt on these books. Infuriates take a bit of attention, but if I give it a few seconds to permeate into the paper, which you should, dirt and grime tend to come right off with a second application. I find it also helps to locate defects on the books. It does, especially if there's like a fold, or it's been folded and then pressed. You can see those lines, or where there were a tape or sticker, they show up when it's wet. As the added moisture makes them stand out in light, it does. Also, the moisture is enough to loosen paper so that hitting spine ticks with the tack iron and your chamfer board or other indentations on the cover. All of these Bronze Age X-Men look fantastic after press. Once I get done cleaning and pressing, I'll be sending them to CBCS. I'll try to take some before and after pictures to let you know how they come back. TLDR, Immacuclean, great results, quicker, toss your dry cleaning, clean and steamer. Well, that's great. And I'm trying to build a message board so everybody can help each other out with tips and tricks on my website. I'm working on it. I'm traveling a lot. I've only been home. I'll only be home 2 days in the entire month of January. So it's a challenge, but I want to do that so you guys can help each other. And Jim Daves, lastly, he writes, Hope you and your family are well. Thought I would share this with you. I responded to a post on CGC chat board about Immacuclean with this photo to show how well it works. It's a double clean and then peroxide light treatment. It's Avengers 58. I was looking for your email. I found an exchange we had about a Spidey 361 with a double cover. Right, I remember that lucky guy. That's a great book. Randy Emerald is my favorite Spider-Man inker. Just got it back from CGC. It was a 9.6 and 9.8, and Buck Farmer reveals to me that you get a grade for each cover. So that's pretty cool. I didn't know what 9.6 over 9.8 meant. Thank you, Buck. Also, just left you a comment in your last video suggesting you get ideas on tide lines when you get around to your recording and mastering class. Great idea. Yeah, and I'll put that on my frequently asked questions too. Tide lines are if you clean some area like it looks dirty or the solution goes around the edges of where you cleaned, and basically the answer is you got to clean the whole book or you sort of feather out, the way that you do it. So he writes, keep up the good work, Jim Daves. Thank you, Jim. Oh, there's more. Larry writes, hey Rick, love your videos. A couple quick questions regarding Immacuclean. It's become a staple in my cleaning regime. I really appreciate the chemistry behind it. My question stems from an observation. I love how the colors pop after cleaning, but regarding the color white, it goes flat. Am I using too high of a concentration, or is it just a normal side effect? I'm not a chemist, I'm actually an airline pilot. Nice. So my understanding how it works is very limited, and I can tell it uses different alcohols to lift dirt without damaging the book. Is this the correct answer? No alcohols. And it's made as a condensation product of an ethanol, benzoxyethanol, but there are no polar groups, no ethanol remaining in the product. And about the leaking flat, it's just a matter of getting all of the residues off. More washing and more scrubbing, rubbing with DI water will usually bring that back. And you get that here from Jason. He writes, hello, Jason. He writes, hello, Rick. I started using your Immacuclean about a week or so ago. Watched many YouTube videos of yourself, among others, using it. Among others, that's great. I don't know there's others using it. There's one person I've seen, so that's great if there's videos. I noticed you had some people speaking about having little streaks across the book about using some gloss, right? I noticed this issue on some of my books after using Immacuclean. I like to experiment and try new things. Good. Man after my own heart. Thank you, Jason. And I just managed to bring one of my less glossy, streaky books back to being glossy and no streaks. A lot cleaner after using your product. It's Fantastic 458 from 1967, Silver Age. Of course, Kirby, goodness. I used 5 milliliters of Immacuclean, 190 milliliters of water, enough Immacuclean on a cotton round to get the cover front and back relatively wet but not soaked. Let sit for a few, then go back over with a clean cotton round, DI water. That's not smart. Remove as much dirt as I can, all pretty standard what I've seen yourself and others do. What I noticed is, and this is where Jason's ingenious, in this particular book, along with some others, but not all, it ends up leaving a hazy residue behind. Yeah, and usually it's dirt that sort of, when the water evaporates, it just leaves that behind, little tiny particles of paper. He writes, what I did was let the book completely dry overnight, full 24 hours or more. Took a new, completely dry cotton round and wiped the whole book down, back and forth in circular motion. So I'm thinking he's doing this. He'll correct me if I'm wrong. Pushing down harder than one would think using a 45-year-old comic, but lo and behold, it took the haze away, which in turn brought the gloss back and removed light streaks. It's something very simple, but I think it may help some of your customers that have had this issue. You may want to give it a try yourself if you've experienced this before passing along. I will. I'll share people that's what's happening. I'll do some experiments if I'm ever home again. Keep up. Great work in videos. Best regards, Jason. So thanks, Jason. Everybody, those are some more positive testimonials, and I really appreciate it. I don't always respond to these in my comments, and I try to. Just sort of overwhelmed with other tasks right now, but I read them, and I really appreciate it, guys. I think it means a lot to me. Thank you so much. Bye bye.